Let's go, boys. It's a special occasion, Meat Boy Boxing, and I'll be honest with you, Meat, I cannot wait to break this down. Perhaps for some viewers, this might be unflattering, but I gotta admit, I am pretty unreasonably stoked for this Jake Paul versus Ben Askren fight. And hey, for those watching, just admit it to yourself, you are too. And it's okay to come to terms with the fact that you might be excited for a Jake Paul boxing match, but you are, and it's okay. Truthfully, the promotion for this match has been hilarious from the Askren Rocky videos to the press conference a few weeks ago. There have been some funny, just classic moments sprinkled throughout this. And ultimately, I'm excited that there was as much promo between the fight announcement last year and this mid April fight. It's going to be an 8 round boxing match. Jake Paul making his 4th appearance, though. The first fight was an amateur fight. His second was a professional fight against another YouTuber. And most recently, his fight with NBA Slam Dunk champion Nate Robinson was also a professional contest, but I don't really see much of a difference between the level of opponents in Deji, Gibb, and Nate Robinson. So for me, I kind of just look at them all the same. But he did manage to finish all of those bums, and he did get better each time. Like the improvements from Jake Paul were obviously evident. But in this fight, this is the first one that I'm considering him going up against a real professional fighter. And while yes, say what you will about Funky Ben Askren boxing, he's a lifelong mixed martial artist. He's been competing at the highest level of NCAA Division One wrestling. Been MMA champion in organizations like One and Bellator, and he's just a legit fighter. So above all, though, he's also an elite competitor. So I gotta agree and cite Chael Sonnen in this one when he says that Ben Askren's gonna win this match because he's coming here to compete and not box. I know who you're going with in this matchup, and sometimes I'm here to be convinced by you, Meat, but 100% you're not changing my mind on this one. But let these meatheads know who you going with. You got Funky Ben Askren, or do you see Logan's little brother getting this one done?
Yeah, Funky Ben Askren, definitely respect for taking this fight. I mean, he's coming off that brutal loss, 2 losses from Masvidal and Damian Maya. So I think this is a great comeback to bring him as a legend, because his whole thing going into the UFC was I got to be a legend. I got to be the best of the best. I got to be known to beat Khabib. That didn't happen. I think this is his new fame to claim is somebody please smack a Paul kid for us. And I think this actually might be the guy, but man, I've seen a lot of Ben fights from Bellator, ONE FC, UFC, and his grappling is good. I can't, you can't take that away. He made the Olympian team, all that stuff. But I'm gonna have to go with Logan Paul's little brother. I think the problem child's gonna get it done. He did promise he's gonna get it done in 2 rounds. I hope it goes a little longer. Just because I want to see a fight, and I would like to see. I'd like to see the problem child actually tested. And I think Ben Askren is a tough dude. He's got the dad bod, so he's got the dad toughness and the dad strength. So it's definitely a good test for him. But if he doesn't get it done, I mean, Jake, I think, loses all credibility, and I don't think he should box ever again. This is a levels test of are you actually trying to be a boxer or are you a YouTuber? He's best known for his YouTube, but let's see if he's the real hype and will be best known for his potentially boxing skills, which is kind of comical because the kid from Vine and I don't know. But yeah, I gotta go with Ben. I mean, I gotta go with Jake. I'm sorry. I think Jake's actually gonna get it done. I like the training videos I see. Funky has brought out some good videos that I'm actually very impressed. His boxing has been crispy, but I just see him being a walking, that not moving his head, not knowing how to slip, and just being a walking punching bag that doesn't really move. And so that's what I worry for Ben. So I got to go with Jake. I think he gets it done the third or fourth round.
Yeah, so within this space, like the term levels tests is thrown around, pretty frequently. We're guilty of it all the time. We'll often call fights a levels test, but I don't think I've ever anticipated a Jake Paul versus Ben Askren boxing match somehow being described as a levels test for anyone. But nonetheless, it is an 8 round fight, and as you mentioned, Jake predicted it to be finished within 2 rounds, only 25% of what is scheduled. Do you think? Do you think that that's going to happen? Because I mean, I just look back at Askren's career. Yes, we all saw the 5 second, flying knee knockout, but that probably would have put anyone out. And aside from that, Askren's never been put out by punches in his career. I mean, this is a dude who beat Douglas Ligma, beat Korshkov, Robbie Lawler. rocked him for a second. We were there, but ultimately he wasn't able to put out Ben Askren. So, are you going to agree with JP's assessment that he gets this done via KO in less than 2 rounds, or do you see him getting it done differently?
It wouldn't surprise me if if Ben Askren has a relapse of a little Masvidal game bread happen in the first or second round, but I think the odds are just so slim. I would not take any odds for that, or even put any tendies in that gamble. But I think Ben is just a tough dude, and as long as he protects himself, keeps his hands up, and tries to juke the punches, I think this is gonna go a long fight. Fourth, fifth, sixth round. If it goes to the eighth, that means Ben won, in my opinion. Unless Jake has just been is just gonna blow us all away. Which, I mean, let's be honest. I think everyone has been hoping and thinking that this kid's gonna lose, and the Paul brothers, they've been known to prove people wrong. So let's see if they can keep with that trend. But I don't know. This is such a tough test for both these guys, because Ben's never even boxed, and he's gotta box the problem child. So that's a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that, and you touched on the odds, and I'll give my pick here in a second. But I was a little bummed to see where Ben Askren opened this fight at like a plus 170 dog, and now it's essentially a pick 'em. So it's been very interesting to watch how the line has moved these past few months. It seems as though where there was initially, an extremely bullish Jake Paul community, ever since these, press conferences have happened, and the vids have been released, it seems as though there is a lot of more Ben Askren sentiment coming out these past few weeks. Maybe even the catalyst being when Dana offered to put a mill on Ben Askren. Like, it seems like a lot more people are buying into Ben Askren being able to get this one done, and it's been fascinating to watch the line move for sure. Here's how I see it playing out, though. I see Jake landing some early shots, but ultimately, I think he's going to be very surprised when Ben Askren simply eats them, maybe even smiles at them, and just continues to walk forward. And I think that maybe in the second or third round is when this fight is going to flip. The vibes going to be completely different. We're going to see the atmosphere turn on its head. And I see Ben Askren figuring out a way to just out grit Jake Paul over rounds 3 to 8. Honestly, it wouldn't even surprise me. And maybe this sounds crazy. It kind of sounds crazy to even articulate it, but I could see Ben Askren getting a seventh or eighth round finish over just a truly gassed out Jake Paul. So I'm going with Ben Askren in this one. I gotta let Daniel Cormier finish it out, though.
Let's go, Ben. Ben, you gotta get this done. Ben, you gotta get this done. I mean, ultimately, it boils down to this. Ben Askren, you gotta get it done. You have to get this done.
He's got to get this done. So, any last thoughts on this Meat Boy Boxing special, Askren versus your boy Jake Paul?
Yeah, Logan's brother. I've got to go with him, because I that's where my money is. Telling me with my head, but my heart says I want Ben, because this will kind of look bad on the MMA community if an MMA fighter can't even beat up a YouTuber. So I don't know. It's definitely mix of emotions, but I'm going with my brain and my money rather than my heart for this one. But I hope I lose money. I'll just put it like that.
Fair play. Let us know who you're going with in the comments below. Very curious to hear the Meatheads' take on this one. And appreciate you grilling, chilling with the boys. Make sure to check out our breakdowns of this weekend's UFC bangers.
Yo.